Okay, this is the second video. Anyways, dreadlings, they were originally, so the reason they are a refined version of dreadnought technology is that the scientists that made the dreadnought and all the things in the lost scrapyard, they basically just were given funding by the government again to restart weapons making. So after the infection started, because the infection was really dangerous, it was causing robots to go rogue and even kill humans, maybe. Anyways, so after giving that funding back, obviously the first thing they wanted to do was improve on their best technology. Unfortunately, I think maybe the Dreadling was maybe one of the last things made. I don't know. This could explain their lack of weapons, as they were not given enough time to develop weapons for it before the infection ended up killing everything. Or my hypothesis is that weapons weren't. They realized that weapons were too effective because it seems like all the energy weapons in the game are sort of energy based, at least a little bit. So they decided that physically smashing things was a very good idea, because that could crumple the metal, mess up parts, and do that inside the infected robots a lot easier. Yeah. Then there's the Sentry. They still needed some sort of firepower, so you install these little gun guys on the pipes, which the specific pipes that the sentries are on connect to a greater power source, which they use to fire beams of energy. But those beams, you see, in the game, they don't really look like beams. They look like bullets leaving a trail behind. This could be also what's happening with other weapons like the turrets and the ranger. So yeah. They're firing energy-waste weapons, but it looks like normal bullets. Maybe they're also firing bullets, but they're also superheated or something. So yeah. Anyways, then there's the Thornhead, which the scientists were desperate to try and fight the infection, so they experimented with another kind of thing. You see, they thought that the robots maybe wouldn't detect something on the ceiling, and due to the success of the Dreadling, they decided more physical attack was needed, as they made the Thornhead, which can smash things down with its spikes. Then there's the options. And the game says, by shooting barrages of bombs, they can destroy several at once. In the past, they were used to clean out sections of the drains. This basically confirms that something went wrong, at least at the time all these desolate drains the infection got really bad. So when I read clean out, I was like, what does this have to do with cleaning? But then I realized it was cleaning out infected robots that were in the drains, trying to mess stuff up. Getting rid of them. So yeah. Anyway, the option, and again, they were sort of experimenting here, trying to figure stuff out. So they made the options to help with this. They experimented with explosives. The robots could speed up to the option and attack it, however, and also dodge its bombs, so it didn't end up being too effective, apparently. That's why they didn't use explosive again. Then there's the Icy Hollow Thumper. Now, I'm assuming this is a region connected to the Crystal Quarry. Maybe like a very much colder cave, or maybe it's just another cave entirely that is not connected to the Crystal Quarry. Anyways, the scientists were experimenting, but the Thumper in Icy Hollow, spikes seemed like a very good idea due to the Thornhead, so they had the Thumper make the ground shoot up spikes to easily damage enemies before they could even get close to the Thumper. Then there's the Spring King. They saw some potential in the Springling. The scientists saw the potential in the Springling, so they decided to make the Spring King. Hold on, I need to go do something. So after they made the Spring King, when they were making the Spring King, it was meant to basically improve on the spikiness. Actually, they realized that the spikes were really working really good on the Thornhead. Spikes have been working really good so far, and they had a bunch of this hard ice-like substance that they could use, and it turned into form into spikes, where they observed some infected robots getting caught on the spikes, and that took them out pretty good. So they were like, okay, that's very good. What if we made that happen naturally? So they made the Spring King. It jumps in the air and crushes stuff. It was extremely effective. Unfortunately, not effective enough. Then there's the Tetherhawk. The Tetherhawk was meant to sort of trap infected robots, so other enemies could hopefully deal with said infected robots. So yeah, and the electricity. All that electricity was obviously very damaging to the robots because it messed with their electronics, which are very important to a robot. It also messed with their brains because their brains ran on very much electricity. So yeah, the tunneler was the tunneler, or the tunneler. I call it the tunneler. It obviously wasn't meant to drill through the ground. It was meant to surprise infected enemies because, again, the Thornhead was working incredibly well. And I thought, hey, if they couldn't see something on the ceiling, they probably couldn't see something coming from the ceiling too, right? So they made the tunneler. Using their large drills to easily pierce robots, infected robots. So, and then they were able to easily glide through the ground. So if they ever got attacked or something, or they needed to get away, so somewhere else, they could easily dig to that somewhere else. See, the Annihilator. See, the Annihilator is really... The Annihilator... For the scientists, they really locked in on this one. They thought we've been taking so much inspiration from the Thornhead. Why not look at the other Desolate Drains enemies? The other enemies we built in general. So So they looked and they saw that the sentry did very well. So did the Lurk Strider. The Dreadnought. Scrapflash didn't do all too well, but we don't talk about that. Then there's the Roller. They realized some of their best enemies, even if they weren't all that good, considered all that good now, were very... I just realized that's the explanation for the 4 chart, and I'm going to get that to why I just said that in a bit. Anyways, so yeah, essentially, come on, phone. So anyways, they looked at all this stuff and they were like, wow, you really haven't been looking into that, have they? But they realized they hadn't gotten way better. We shouldn't just make it fire a bullet. A laser is such a good idea. So they made the Annihilator fire a massive laser to instantly melt the robot. The infected robots. It didn't work all too well. Well, I'm only saying it didn't work all too well because obviously the infection here, but the infection may have been almost wiped out at some point. So, yeah. Now let's talk about the levels. Lost Scrapyard. Filled with scraps to destroy machines, the Stormont Cave lies at the top of the world. We got 3 caves in the game. Lost Scrapyard, Crystal Quarry, and Icy Hollow. Anyway, we got the Lost Scrapyard. Now, this is where the scientists did their first tests. And eventually they were like, nah, this isn't all that good. So they just decided to use it as a dumping ground for the bad machines. They didn't really actually ever dump anything there, though. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of machines that they tested. Hold on. Anyways, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, I finished talking about Scrapyard and I'm about to move on to Crystal Quarry. Anyways, at one point it was an active mining site. All the men stopped when the infection started spreading. That's what the Crystal Quarry says. Now, it says that the mining stopped quickly. It explains why the weapon that was given to the Lurk Strider is described as makeshift. Because it had to be. Because, stuff went down quickly. I'm not getting that geared dasher, am I? But I'd also like that core filter. It's a relic. I gotta learn more about relics. Anyways, this is kind of a theory video now, so. It was an active mining site. It was hit the easiest for some reason. Probably because it was an active mining site and didn't really need much digital security, or at least I thought, to the infection. So, yeah, pretty much, here's a mining site that got hit by the infection. I don't think there's much to say here. I may make a follow-up video if there is. Oh shoot, I have to make a follow-up video right now because if not, I will not be able to upload this video because it will be over 15 minutes.